Hello everyone. Today we will be viewing our implementation of the front-end part of our assignment, which is to implement a single-page application mobile using React and Redux for students to be used for student enrollment. Before we understand the code base, let us first view the overall working of our project. The project is built using 3 pages. The first page is the entry page, the second page is the chatbot page, and the third page is the exit page. The overall application is a single page application which is built using React and Redux, and you can observe that it is a single page application by observing this reload button. You will observe that it won't toggle throughout the application as we move to different pages of our application. The page that you are currently viewing is our entry page. As the user clicks on this Enroll Now button, he will be taken to the chatbot page. Now, this is our chatbot page, and the chatbot sends a response to our user, which is, "Hello, welcome to Student Info System," along with a button or a widget. So this is the Got It button, and as the user clicks on this button, he will reply to the chatbot with the message "Got it," and the chatbot in response will tell him to pick a slot. From these 3 options, we can select any option. So let us select this 17th May Wednesday option. On selecting that option, the chatbot again responds to the user by providing him with the slots that are available for morning, noon, and evening for that day. So suppose our user selects the 9 PM option. As you can see that the message, that is the date along with the day and the time, is sent to the chatbot, and in response the chatbot responds by telling the user to enter his name. So suppose our user has the name Rohan, and as soon as he enters his name, he will be prompted with this "enter your age" message. The user will enter his age, so let us select the option 30, and as we submit this option, it will start the countdown. As you can see, the countdown is started. After the countdown ends, the user will be taken to the third page, which is our exit page, and his details that he entered, that is his name and his age, are being displayed here. If the user clicks on the exit button, he will be again taken to the entry page. Let us now move to the understanding part of our code base. The first task that we have to do is to create the entry page, which will contain this text along with the button "Enroll Now." For creating our entry page, we have created this React component named Enter Info, and in this component we have our text along with the button. On clicking the button, the Show Chatbot function will run. Using the Show Chatbot function, we will navigate our user to the chatbot page, and for navigation, we have used React Router DOM. Let us now move to the understanding part of our chatbot page. The first task that we have to implement in the chatbot is to display this message, "Hello, welcome to Student Info System," and we also have to display a button, and when the user will click on that button, it will reply the chatbot, "Got it." To implement this functionality, we will initialize the initial messages in our config file we will create a chatbot message which is "Hello, welcome to Student Info System." This will be the first message that will be printed by the chatbot, and it will also include a widget or a button which is "Got It" button. This "Got It" button is a React component which we have built. We have initialized this component in the widget section of our config file. This is our "Got It" button component, and as you can see, we are rendering a button named "Got It" from here. And on clicking this button, it will execute the initial action function. The initial action function will run this function, which is props.actions.initialAction, and this initial action function, which is here, which I have highlighted, this is the action that we have declared in our action provider. So after executing this initial action function, the "Got It" button, it will be its display we have changed to none, and also we have set the got it done to be to true. So what this set got it done true does is that we have used a use effect here, and if got it done it changes its value to true, then it will execute a function called after got it, and in that function it will execute another function called after got it, which we have built as an action in our action provider. Now let us understand how this initial action and after got it function works in the action provider file. This is our action provider file, and inside this we have a function called action provider, and inside this function we will initialize all our actions that we have to carry out throughout this chatbot page. So first up we have the initial action function, and inside this we have initialized a message, a client message to be precise, which is got it, and as the user clicks on the got it button, this got it message will be displayed. Then we update our state to include that message. So what this update state function does is that it will set our state to the previous state, as well as it will include the new message. It will append that new message to this state. Also we have passed our message and a checker as an argument to this update state function. As we move further into the project, why we have added this checker as an argument inside this update state function will be explained. The next action that we have to perform is the after got it action, and as the user clicks on the got it button, the got it message will be displayed in the chatbot, and after that got it message is displayed, the chatbot then asks the user to pick a slot, and using the after got it action we will be doing that. So we will be creating a chatbot message to pick a slot, and it will also include the widget slots, that is the buttons that we built for displaying all the options for different slots of different days. Now coming to the slots widget, so this is a React component which we have built. The name of this component is slot.js, and it will display the slots of the dates. So as we can see that we are rendering these dates here along with the values that it will carry. Now as the user clicks on any one of these dates, the display timings function will execute, and what this function will do is that it will set the date which the user has selected to the date state, and also it will set the show timing to true, and as the set show timing it gets the true value, it will then display all the possible slots for that particular day, which we are rendering using all these buttons for morning, noon and evening. When the user selects any of these slots, the timing message function will execute, and it will then store the time in the time state. After that, the timing message action will run, and it will take this value, which is date and time, as a prop, and we will further understand this in the action provider file. The next thing that this timing message will do is that it will set the display of all our buttons to none. They all will vanish, and this message, the timing message, will get displayed. Now this is the timing message action that we have built in our action provider, and what this will do is that it will create a client message. It will as we can see that it is getting our date and time as arguments here. We have passed that as an argument in this timing message function, and it will extract the date and the time from here, and it will generate a client message, and that message will be updated, and this enter name function will run. So this enter name is also an action, and what this will do is that it will create a chatbot message which is to enter your name, and also it will include our message in that state. As we can see that we are also passing this age as a checker in this update state message. So now we understand why we were using that checker in the first place. So for that we will move to our message parser file now, and this is our message parser file, and in this we have a function called message parser. In this message parser function we have a parse function which will take the message that we have passed and it will check that if the value of our checker is age, then first it will dispatch the message. What is this dispatch? So this dispatch is coming from Redux. We have imported the use dispatch hook from the React Redux package. Inside the message parser file, we have this message parser function, and inside this function, we have another function called parse. This parse function will take the message as an argument, and it will check for that message that if its checker value is age, then it will do the following actions. First action is that it will dispatch the set data function, which is coming from our data slice file. So this is part of Redux, and I will explain it a bit later. And the other action that it will do is that it will call the enter age function from actions. So as I have mentioned already that we are using Redux as a state management library, which stores the states of our application in a global store, and we can fetch the state values from that global store in any of our React component. So here, for storing the data, that is the name and the age that we want to display on our exit page, to store that data we have used Redux, and for that we have created a data slice file. To work on our application using Redux, we will first need to install the required dependencies. First is the React Redux dependency, and the next is the Redux toolkit. So using Redux, we will first set our store, which is a file store.js, and in this we will configure our store along with the reducers, which are basically the functions which will update the state if needed. So we have imported this data reducer as a reducer from our data slice file, and inside this data slice file we have initialized our state, which will include the name and the age, and also we have created a slice and we have named it data slice, and it will include the name of that state, it will include the initial state and the reducers. So when we call the reducer in our store.js file, this is basically what we mean. So basically these reducers, they get imported in that file. And here we have a reducer called set data, and it will take state and payload as arguments, and this payload, it carries the name and the age that we have to display on the exit page. And here we will store our name and age in our state. And in the message parser file, we are importing the set data reducer from the data slice file, and what this will do is that it will set our data as name. So this name, it was getting passed as a message in the parse function, and next this enter age action will be called. So let us now understand how this enter age function works, and this is the enter age action which will execute after the user enters his name. So inside this enter age, we have initialized a message, a chatbot message, which is to enter your age, and it also includes a widget called ask age. So this widget is basically the drop down that we have created for our age, and next it will update our state again with that message, and also it will pass this exit as a checker. Let us now look at our ask age component, which is the drop down that we have created, and as we can see that we have rendered that drop down here. Upon clicking the submit button next to the drop down, this submit age function will execute, and inside this submit age function, it will dispatch the data, which is the name. This name is coming from our state which we have stored globally. And from where are we getting this? We are using the use selector hook, which extracts the state from our store. So here we are extracting the name from our store, and so our name and age will be dispatched using the set data function. So our name and the age that was selected will get dispatched through the set data function, and the exit message action will be carried out. So this exit message action, what this does is that it will create a chatbot message which is thank you. In 5 seconds the bot will exit, and we have used this exit widget here, and this exit widget, it is basically a component which will render the countdown. So we have made this exit component here, and this is that exit component, and it will display the counter as we can see here. So in this we have first initialized a state called count, and next we have used the use effect hook, and inside this use effect we have first initialized the interval id, and it will execute the set interval function, and it includes change. And what is this change function? So the change function, it will carry out the decrement of our count, and we will clear our interval after 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds this use effect will execute, and it will navigate us from the chatbot page to the exit page. For our third page, we have built another component, which is the data display component, and it will display the data, which is the name and the age, as a message. And also it includes a button, which is the exit button, and if the user clicks on the exit button, as we have already seen, it will take the user back to the original or the home page or the entry page. So where is this name and age coming from? So as we have used Redux, and as we are using a global store for storing our states, so from that store we will call our data state, and the data state it includes our name and the age. So here we are destructuring our state object, and we are extracting our name and age from it using the use selector hook from React Redux. This was the overall working of our front-end application along with the understanding of the code.